Good morning. Welcome to Top of the Morning by Mint, your daily shot of sharp business intel, global trends, and market movers. It's Thursday, July 31st. I'm Nelson John. Oil deals, tariff bombs, satellite marvels, and a hiring twist in tech. Today's headlines are nothing short of a geopolitical roller coaster. Donald Trump's tariff diplomacy sets off tremors in global trade. From cozying up to Pakistan's oil fields to slapping India with a 25% tariff, all while taking aim at BRICS and the dollar's dominance. Back home, India's markets wobble, but there's a silver lining. ISRO and NASA launch a satellite that can track Earth's tiniest tremors. And Infosys bucks the IT gloom with a bold hiring spree, just as TCS hands out pink slips. And if that wasn't enough, 6 Indian firms find themselves in Washington's sanctions crosshairs over Iranian oil. It's a big, bold mix of political, tech, and market tremors. And we've got it all lined up here on Top of the Morning. Let's dive right in. Who knows, maybe they'll be selling oil to India someday. That's Donald Trump dropping a geopolitical surprise on Truth Social. In a packed post, the US president revealed a fresh energy partnership between the US and Pakistan to help develop what he called Pakistan's massive oil reserves. While no American oil major has been named yet, Trump hinted a decision is imminent. And then came the sting. India wasn't left unscathed. Just hours earlier, Trump announced a 25% tariff on Indian imports and warned of unspecified penalties over India's ongoing oil trade with Russia. Talks with India are ongoing, he later clarified, adding that things might get clearer by the end of the week. But what really ticked him off? BRICS. Trump slammed the grouping of 11 emerging nations, calling it anti-United States, and singled out India's membership as baffling. It's an attack on the dollar, and we won't let that happen, he warned. Meanwhile, Trump announced a trade deal with South Korea, setting a 15% tariff on goods imported from South Korea, adding that the US will not pay a tariff on its exports to the country. A meeting with Seoul's trade delegation was on the cards. So, on one hand, tariffs, threats, and dollar defense. On the other, oil diplomacy with Pakistan. India's markets just got hit with a tariff thunderbolt from Washington. As US President Donald Trump imposed a 25% tariff on Indian imports, stocks of key export sectors, textiles, pharma, and auto components are feeling the heat. Add to that an unspecified penalty on India's oil purchases from Russia, and investors have every reason to brace for short-term jitters. The market was pricing in a 20% tariff. This 25% move is a negotiating tactic, said Swarup Mohanty of Mirae Asset. But things will stabilize soon. Still, there is reason to watch closely. Foreign investors pulled out over 32,000 crore rupees in July, spooked by a weakening rupee, now at a 5-month low, and lofty valuations. In contrast, domestic investors have pumped in 4.12 trillion rupees this year, acting as a shock absorber, reports Mins Ramsagal and Shrishti Vaidya. While the Nifty recovered slightly to 24,855, traders expect a knee-jerk dip when markets open today. But experts believe it won't last long. The stock market reaction won't extend beyond a few days, said Madan Sabnavis, chief economist at Bank of Baroda. Others worry the impact on GDP could linger longer. We had forecasted India's FY26 GDP at 6.2%, assuming moderate tariffs. Now that could slip further, warned ICRA's Aditi Nayar. India's next round of trade talks with the US is set for August. Till then, it's a cautious wait-and-watch game. A scientific handshake with the world. That's how Union Minister Jitendra Singh described one of the most advanced Earth monitoring satellites ever built, NISAR, launched jointly by NASA and ISRO. The $1.5 billion satellite blasted off from Sriharikota on Wednesday evening aboard ISRO's GSLV F-16. About the size of a large SUV and weighing nearly 2.4 tons, NISAR was placed into orbit at 5:58 p.m. and is now preparing to unfurl its golden reflector, a 12-meter dish made of wire mesh and engineering wizardry. Now, why does this matter? Because NISAR will track every crack, shift, melt, and move on Earth with stunning precision down to 1 centimeter. Its dual radar system, L-band from NASA and S-band from ISRO, make it the first satellite of its kind. It'll observe glaciers melting, groundwater slipping away, earthquakes brewing, landslides forming, and wetlands releasing carbon gases, all from 743 kilometers above us. Casey Swallis from NASA called it a decade of collaboration across continents, missing weekends and holidays, culminating in this moment. Operations begin by October end, and for the next 5 years, NISAR will scan Earth twice every 12 days. The data will be streamed via Alaska's ASF and India's Bhunidhi platform in Hyderabad. With the ability to see through clouds, fog, and even ice sheets, this satellite won't just transform climate science, it'll aid disaster response, aviation, and even shipping. A true marvel in orbit built by two nations watching over one planet. The US government has slapped fresh sanctions on 33 entities involving in Iran's petroleum trade, including 6 based in India. Announced on July 30th, the Trump administration's move targets companies accusing of transshipping, purchasing, or selling Iranian-origin petrochemicals. These sanctions are part of Washington's strategy to choke off revenue streams allegedly funding terrorism and internal repression. Among those sanctioned, Alchem Solutions Private Limited, the biggest name on the list, imported $84 million worth of Iranian petrochemicals in 2024. Jupiter Dichem handled over $49 million worth of toluene and other chemicals. Global Industrial Chemicals Limited imported $51 million in methanol. Ramniklal S. Gausalia & Co. sourced $22 million worth of methanol and toluene. Persistent Petrochem Private Limited moved $14 million in Iranian-origin shipments. Kanchan Polymers engaged in smaller but still significant deals. All 6 have been designated under an executive order for knowingly engaging in prohibited transactions involving Iran's petrochemical sector. The wider crackdown spans entities in China, Turkey, the UAE, and Indonesia, and includes 10 vessels now listed as blocked property. While this may not affect Indian markets directly, it adds tensions to the already strained US-India trade ties, especially amid the ongoing tariff negotiations and New Delhi's delicate positioning on oil imports from sanctioned nations. In a week when India's IT industry is grappling with news of record job cuts, Infosys CEO Salil Parekh dropped a different kind of headline. The company will hire 20,000 fresh graduates this year. Speaking to TOI, Parekh confirmed that over 17,000 people were already hired in Q1, and the focus is now on AI-led transformation and talent development. We're deeply focused on AI transformation, whether it's building AI agents or creating smaller language models, Parekh said. Infosys has trained nearly 2.75 lakh employees in AI and digital tools across various levels, and it's paying off. Software development productivity is up 5 to 15%, thanks to AI. Gains are even bigger in customer service and knowledge work. The company's banking product, Finacle, for example, delivers 20% productivity improvement by combining automation with human oversight. Still, Parekh stressed that AI demands higher level skills and more effort, and human involvement remains key in complex systems. On compensation, Infosys has completed its appraisal cycles for Q4 and Q1, and the next round is being evaluated in line with its regular process. The hiring news comes just as TCS announced a massive 12,000 job cut, the biggest in the Indian IT sector this year. Unlike TCS, Infosys is doubling down on hiring and upskilling, signaling a contrasting strategy amid sector-wide restructuring. In short, while others trim, Infosys is investing in AI and fresh talent for the longer game. That's all for today. Thank you for joining in. We're eagerly looking forward to our next Top of the Morning episode, which will be packed with the latest news. Until then, this is Nelson John signing off. Have a great day.